It is the Riot. This is our podcast.
Welcome to the podcast today. Thank you so much for listening.
All right. So today in the show, we talk about our RadioU thermometer. It's so nice.
Even though we did talk thermometer, we did talk body temperature, a lot of people text in to say they also either have thermometers that push them lower or they also just have lower body temperatures. So I don't think we're the only ones in this predicament.
We also get into unchicken, COVID fatigue, Grizzly 2, John Wick, the coaster, some Christmas delays. And you'll see that Nikki and I have differing reactions to differing delays.
We have two different Christmas postponements.
Movie prop auctions, Mario Kart tour. That should keep you busy for a while.
I think hopefully that should be enough.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Thank you for listening to the podcast today. Say hello by texting 877-2-RADIO-U. Include your name. And, of course, as always, put that you're a podcast listener at least the first time you're texting so we know where you're coming from.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Now, here at RadioU, we are doing something that is happening at schools and businesses across the world.
What are we doing?
Well, when you come in the morning, you have to take your temperature.
Yes, we do. We've done that since the start of COVID.
Yeah. And I will tell you, I don't know how our staff is doing.
Based on?
But I can tell you this. That thermometer, its days are numbered.
It's already been fixed, I think, like to where the batteries don't want to stay in. But
wait, pause. And we fixed it.
We did. Chris did.
By taping it.
Yeah, Chris did a wonderful job at it.
I'm not saying that that's technically not fixed, but when we talk about fixing something, I imagine like screws were ordered, parts were replaced.
No, not for the cost of it. I don't think so. But yeah, the thermometer, though, it's a digital one you just put on your forehead, like most places when you go in. And I just find that those are always inconsistent. Is that a nice way to put it?
Sure.
They register you as too cold most times where your body temperature would be way lower than it should be or would normally be.
Well, you experienced this morning what I experience every day. I come in and it tells me that my temperature is 95 degrees.
Yeah, mine was 95.8 3 times.
I think what it is, I think it's because we come from the outside, which is colder.
Yeah.
And then when we come in, I think the skin on our foreheads is still cold. Yeah. And so what you and I need to do is we need to get in here and hang out for about an hour and then take our temperature.
Yeah, but
then
you're not supposed to.
Then we'll know if there's a problem.
Well, I just don't know how we'd ever be able to swing enough to the other side of getting an actual temperature because it's so far away.
Well, if you come in tomorrow and you have 96, then we might have a problem.
Mine's normally 97, around that. And that's normal than what I thought it was supposed to be. But we looked up in the beginning that they think people have lower temperatures than they would always assume.
I have my temperature, like normal resting temp, is usually about 97.6.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like 98.6. This probably explains all kinds of problems with me. I don't know.
And you're not the only one.
But that's where I'm at. But I'm just telling you that if you come and visit RadioU and you're like, what is this pile of plastic and electronics on the desk?
Well, we got tired of it.
That's the thermometer that can't handle being handled by so many different staff members. It was
like that, though, in the beginning, and you would get 95 when it would be like 100 out.
It's true.
So I don't think it's a cold thing.
Well, no, but the other thing I thought is, like, if I'm in my car with the air conditioner on, it's blowing cold air on my skin.
True. We're making excuses for it.
Well, it looks...
For the thermometer.
It looks like somebody walks... Like, every time somebody walks through there, they just hit it, and it knocks it on the floor.
Well, that's how we do it.
It seems like that's where we're at right now.
It's not a part of everybody's COVID rules to get your temperature and then smack it to the floor.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't do it that way. Or, I mean, maybe we do. It's just as everybody else.
So were you still 95 when you came in, too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've
never gotten that low. So I just wanted to see what it's up. Like, should we just add 2 or something? Or every morning you just add a few?
I don't know.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
As we're talking about the thermometer that has seen better days, Nikki, I see here an article in the New York Times that says that the largest threat that the United States is facing going into winter is pandemic fatigue.
Oh, just everybody's tired of it.
They say that we're so tired of the pandemic that we're, one, letting our guard down, and two, kindness is flying out the window. And
I can see that.
this is, I got to find the quote. I love this so much. The mayor of Wausau, Wisconsin, city of 38,000, they had to open up an extra hospital unit because they're having a big COVID surge there. She says, and I quote, "People are done putting hearts on their windows and teddy bears out for scavenger hunts." They have had enough.
Remember the chalk on the driveways, like the pieces of art?
I do.
You experience, I think people are, yes, just getting tired of it seeming to never end. I went to Costco yesterday, and like no one even bothers now to put the face mask over the nose. And for the people who aren't doing that, like everybody's just got a come at me, bro. Like you want to say anything about it. So everybody's still very, very tense.
Yeah. We have, this is another great quote from Vale Wright, a psychologist at the American Psychological Association. She said, "In the spring, it was fear and a sense of we're all in this together.
Sure.
Things are different now. Fear has been replaced with fatigue." So they
just warn of that.
Yeah. They say that in reality, now's not the time, Nikki.
Well, I think it's also hard to, we're having election, politics fatigue, and you throw that in with the COVID stuff, the what's the term? The flu one where you add in the chance you might get both.
Oh, twindemic.
Twindemic. You got the fear of just so much stuff that every time you go online or it's just being thrown at you. So it's hard.
Well, Nikki, don't let
So
down.
don't feel bad if you're feeling fatigued because you're not the only one.
I don't even know. This is just whatever.
Good. That's good.
I think that's fatigue too.
I think that does sound like it.
I don't even know.
Anytime you say whatever to anything, that means you're fatigued.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm at. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still putting my mask on. Still washing my hands.
Just everybody's tired.
Yeah. I'll tell you what keeps you, at least for me, my mask is up over my nose because I've got glasses. So I got to tuck my glasses on over my mask so that I can actually see out of my glasses. It's a whole thing. Yeah. And I always laugh when people make fun of people they see wearing masks in cars. I've done it because I'm like, man, it's such a hassle to get this mask freaking right. I'm just leaving it on.
Oh, because of your glasses.
Just whatever.
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Nikki, I just want to get out there and say this right now. I care.
You care?
Yeah, there are a lot of people that don't care, but I care about the Santa Chronicles 2. That's right. Santa Chronicles 2 coming to Netflix.
First one was last year or the year before?
It was 2018.
Okay.
And so we went a year without a new Christmas Chronicles, and now in 2020,
you finally get a new one.
Christmas Chronicles is coming.
Did you like that movie, or was it just okay? I can't remember.
Here's the thing. Basically the movie until Kurt Russell as Santa shows up is terrible. It is low rent. Imagine Hallmark, but worse. It's not good. As soon as
he makes an appearance,
Kurt Russell shows up, that movie is now we're doing it.
I wonder why. I wonder if that was on purpose or if it was just, why because I remember I watched the first 20 minutes of it, and you're right, it's awful.
It is.
I never even got to the part where he shows up.
He is so good. And it's not that the child actors he works with are so bad. It's that...
No, it's the filming, the actual quality of it.
It just looks cheap. They're just they went to somebody's house, they set up a camera. All right, everybody, do your best. And it has a very cliche Christmas story to it, but daggone, he is so good as Santa. So good.
You come in, you're like, hey, Kurt Russell's so good. It even brought up the quality of it.
It did.
The actual filming quality.
It actually feels like they just spent their money and their time on
with
that
his
part,
stuff,
and they
sure.
only had so much left. And they just went for it. Now, I don't know what it's about, but at the end of the original Christmas Chronicles, we met Mrs. Claus, which is Goldie Hawn, which is his, like, they have been not married for like 100 years.
Yeah, but like his special person.
Right. And so she's going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's about, but it says the battle to save Christmas is on.
They're battling again.
And it looks like there are 2 sleighs that are flying over the North Pole.
Do you get another Santa?
Who's in the second sleigh?
Big question.
What's going on?
What's in the sleigh?
What's in the sleigh?
What's going to happen?
What's going on? I want to know.
The first one with him did well enough. I mean, obviously, that's why there's a second one.
Yeah. No, hey, listen, I love Kurt Russell, and he was the best Santa maybe ever.
So which one was that one called? The Christmas
Chronicles. And so now we're getting the Christmas Chronicles 2.
I saw Netflix pushing it, so you go through the list of like the upcoming movies.
Yeah,
we're, I would say, 2 weeks away from the first Netflix like Christmas romantic sort of Hallmarky movie.
The Christmas Princess 4.
We're getting close to the start of those movies being released.
A Prince for Christmas, like Bed and Breakfast, Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Let's face it, guys. When you're looking for healthy food, you go to Jack in the Box. When you care about yourself and the world and others, you find a Jack in the Box near you and you immediately head in for something to eat.
Every time we've gone to a Jack in the Box, it's been a thing, just to let you know. It's that type of place. It's a thing.
I don't think I have ever gone to a Jack in the Box and had what I would consider to be a normal, quote-unquote, experience.
That's because we always went in, except once we drove through. And remember the time we drove through? I think that was right after I got pulled over. So it's never been good. Never, ever, ever. Because someone wanted milkshakes.
What we should have done is just gone back to the hotel. But it was fine. Nikki was driving. So Nikki's in the front seat crying, and we're giving her our orders so she can order.
I'm still crying. Because I got pulled over. It's good. It's great.
Hey, Nikki, wait. Hey, focus now. Don't get it wrong.
This milkshake's right.
Don't get it wrong.
Oh, so yeah, Jack in the Box, we've got a long history with it.
We do. So they are apparently getting ready to test some plant-based options for your chicken alternatives.
So there'll be 2 unchickens. You'll get a regular and then you'll get a spicy one. And they're testing it in Reno and Monterey, California.
Nikki, could you pull up just a little bit? I think they heard you say chicken between sobs. I'm looking for an unchicken.
This is not a normal one. It's a plant-based unchicken that they're going to be partnering with a plant-based product company.
We're going to have to pull through and come back around. They got it wrong.
They got the order wrong. Well, you have to make sure, because like with the Burger King one, with its Impossible Burger, you have to remember, depending on where you're at and what label you would like to have, it doesn't mean it's prepared in a
vegan-friendly manner,
in an unchicken way. So
they might be preparing.
The heart of it might be unchicken, but its preparation might be very chicken.
It's being prepped next to and with the chicken.
Pretty much, like in the same oil and stuff. So they haven't said any details concerning that, but they are testing it. They do not have a nationwide release detail at this point, but they're testing it there.
Reno, Nevada, Monterey, California. And did you say that it's Raised and Rooted is the name of the company that creates Unchicken?
That's the partnership with them. And to help promote it, Jack in the Box has also been in the news because they're releasing chicken-scented face masks that will be for free. That's available on a website starting the 23rd. The website won't even pull up at this point. So you got a few days, and they're not even there yet.
I don't want a chicken-scented face mask.
Why?
Do you?
Well, no. I mean, I think you get tired of it. I bet it doesn't actually last very long, the scented part of it.
Probably. I don't want any of that.
Maybe the first wash, then it goes away.
I just assume it was disposable.
I don't know. I can't get onto the website to find out.
Well, that's because demand is so high.
Oh, you can't even get it, but I can't even find it. I don't know if it's disposable or not.
Yeah. Nikki described Jack in the Box the best way possible. It's a controlled fire.
I wanted to call call it a dumpster fire, but no, because sometimes the stuff there is still fine.
Yeah.
So that's it's the controlled part of it.
It's a controlled burn.
It's a fire going on, but they know what they're doing, I guess.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So class is canceled today. You've been there. You get the text, you get the email.
And you're so excited.
Until you read it, and then even the hardest heart among us becomes a little concerned.
Almost to the point where this one feels like he was trying to go viral with it, or, like it feels like a scam, but I think it's real.
I didn't figure this was real. Like, I assumed it was just made up, but it is real because it's been confirmed. So here's the email from Patrick Wilson. He's an English teacher. Hello, all. Unfortunately, I have to reschedule the exam, and I will have to cancel class on Thursday. Against my best wishes, I have been shot and am being treated in the ER.
Oh, it's not done yet. It's not there.
I also have COVID.
Oh, one more.
And the divorce is getting messy. It doesn't feel real.
It's almost like I didn't know that was a trifecta there, but you got all three.
Here's what I love. Office hours are still 11 to 12, Monday and Wednesday with your TA.
This is my favorite part right here.
If I am alive...
That right there. That's honesty right there.
The exam will be moved to Monday of next week. Keep reviewing the text and remember to look over your IDs.
So
Professor Wilson.
I still feel like that was a bit of an exaggeration because of then his follow-up where he does still have all three going on, but the gunshot wasn't serious.
Okay,
and the COVID has no symptoms,
okay.
But the divorce is real.
I just want you to know that I don't care if the gunshot is serious or not. I mean, I care. But the fact that you've been involved in something where you've been shot.
Does it revolve around the divorce, or was it they never cover why he got shot?
We don't know, but here's the follow-up email that came. Hello all. It seems that my last email went viral on the internet. I appreciate all the replies letting me know. Fortunately, the injury wasn't serious and none of my COVID symptoms are serious. The exam is still Monday and it is asynchronous, so you take it on your own. Unlike my wife, I expect you not to cheat.
Good luck to all. So Professor Wilson has gone viral with his current life situation and his class updates.
Unlike my wife, I expect you not to cheat. So good.
So that's it. If you're seeing Professor Wilson go around and trending, this is the guy.
So good news, everybody. He's going to...
I still want to know more. I want an update on why he was shot. Like, what happened there? And the divorce. What's going to happen? It's hard when your parents fight. It's like, what's going on?
So there is a woman on Twitter who claims to be his wife that is tweeting, but I don't think that's real.
Yeah, that just seems like someone else making it up.
Yeah, I don't think that's real. But everything up to this point has been real, and it's crazy.
So they're saying that it is it's your professor's responsibility to keep you updated for classes, especially if you're doing a lot of classes remotely and you're not in person. But they were saying that from a point of view for the educator, that you're supposed to maybe not be so real.
So transparent
about what's going on, because it can then get to be a little depressing, they're saying. So perhaps don't unveil all that's going on.
Whatever. I love this honesty. I love it. You know what? I think we should put human faces on our educators. And if that means that you've been shot, you've got COVID, and you're getting divorced because your wife is cheating on you.
You put that all in that email, all right?
You go right ahead.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did you guys hear about that new movie Tenet that came out 3 months ago?
Now, there's been a couple of other new movies, but there have been few and far between. And Tenet was probably the most...
highly publicized?
Talked about and actually promoted. Because the other ones that have been in theaters, I haven't seen any promotion for.
Me either. There's a Liam Neeson movie that came out last weekend.
Like, they're not spending any money to promote those.
No. It made $4 million if you combine the United States and Canada.
And that was the box office. Like, that was the top one.
That was it for everybody. But all that's going to change this weekend.
What comes out this weekend?
Grizzly 2.
What is that?
Well, first off, it's the sequel to Grizzly.
What is that? What's Grizzly 2, let alone what's Grizzly 1? Do I want to know?
According to this article that I'm reading, Grizzly was a surprise Jaws knockoff. So they say the idea is
so bad.
Imagine Jaws, but it's about a bear, a crazed grizzly bear. Well, Grizzly 2 takes place at some kind of a music festival where a crazy bear is out killing people again.
I see.
But here's the part that I love.
It's a big band rock concert at a national park.
It's never been released.
Into theaters?
That's what I've read.
I mean, it's got ratings or reviews and stuff, so it must be somewhere.
Well, there was a press screening. Maybe not, Nikki. Maybe it ended up somewhere. But from what I'm reading, it is supposed to. Maybe it released last
George
weekend.
Clooney in it, and Laura Dern.
That's right. And John Rhys Davies. And then Deborah Foreman and Louise Fletcher, who are Academy Award winners, but I don't actually know who they are. And wait, we're not done. Did you see the other person?
Who's the other person?
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. It's all bad. It's from 1987. It looks so bad. Don't watch it. Just because we're talking about it doesn't mean we're saying, oh, I like bears. That doesn't mean I'm seeing the Grizzly movie.
I want to see it.
You do not.
Yes, I do.
You don't.
I absolutely do.
It looks terrible.
I know. That's why I want to see it.
So, okay, like Jaws, but with a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
And where's the first one at? Did that get released?
Well, I don't know, but according to the article I'm reading, which is actually just a review of it from, is it Roper? Richard Roper. So he says that, he actually says that it's not a good movie, but it's also not bad enough to be a bad movie.
It's that in between. It's that sweet spot.
Yeah, which is too bad because...
And they're hoping that for Halloween, you're going to want to see the Grizzly 2.
Well, Grizzly 1 came out in 1976.
Wow.
And it says an 18-foot tall grizzly bear terrorizes a state park, leaving it up to a park ranger to save the day. Those are the real heroes, Nikki. The park rangers are the real heroes.
So it's weird. Like, if you didn't know the people playing this, the filter that's on the movie, because it's so old, really means like it could pass. Like, you could want to watch it. It just is so bad. Look, I'm watching the trailer.
I think I want to watch Grizzly.
But would you
I might want to watch Grizzly more than Grizzly 2.
You want to see that in theaters? You want to go see Grizzly 2?
Kinda. I kind of do. Look, I'm looking at the IMDb for Grizzly. Yeah. It looks bad.
He's like a 10-foot grizzly bear.
18 foot.
Oh, 18 feet?
That's what the IMDb says.
Oh, classic movies, right?
It says that I can rent it. Oh, I can rent it on Amazon Prime Video.
So Grizzly and Grizzly 2.
Please don't forget. Please don't forget.
Must remember for this weekend. Must remember.
Must remember.
Well, there's nothing stopping you. You can rent it now and then just don't access it till the weekend.
I'm adding it to my watch list. There we go. That'll help me remember.
The first Grizzly movie?
Yeah.
But then Grizzly 2's never been out?
No, not yet. But they say it's coming to streaming soon.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki is a fan of John Wick, and that's because we don't have to get into the fact that 2 and 3 were letdowns.
No, but they were still something.
They were, Nikki.
They were just a little disappointing from the stunningness that was John Wick, the first movie.
John Wick the Purist is a man who loves his wife and his dog, and both die. One, he can do nothing about, but the second one is taken from him in an act of violence, and as a result, Nikki enjoys watching him mete out revenge on everyone.
Yep, it was a good movie.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we talked about this, I think, earlier this year, or maybe it was last year. Does anybody remember what day it is or where we've been? Me either. But they are opening in Dubai a Lionsgate theme park.
I didn't know about that. Did we actually talk about it?
If we didn't, I definitely read about it. Because to me, I'm just like, what?
I know, like, Keanu's doing the cyberpunk and Keanu's doing the comic book and... What else? There's a couple of like little non-traditional things that you're not expecting him to do, but I didn't know they were doing a roller coaster for him. That's a first. They
are in Dubai. They're opening an amusement park called Motion Gate. Mm-hmm. It's a big theme park, or I don't know how big it is, but for Lionsgate Entertainment, which, by the way, if you look, Lionsgate does have quite a few properties out there, including the Hunger Games.
Well, this one's funny. They're doing the John Wick ride and then another roller coaster based on the Now You See Me film series.
Have you?
What's that?
You don't know what they are?
I don't. What are those?
I do, but I've never watched them.
Well, it's enough to get a roller coaster there.
Yeah, but the John Wick one looks like the Continental.
Yeah.
Like that's where you go in, and it looks like the roller coaster is either built behind it or inside it. It's hard to tell. They haven't, like, there are no photos of construction, but these are the first time they've released any kind of an artist rendering of what it will look like.
So when you go to the John Wick open contract roller coaster ride in Dubai, just let me walk you through it in case you never make it to Dubai to go through this.
Are you kidding?
I know it's, bucket list here, but you get a choice as you board the roller coaster. You can go the way to help John Wick, Keanu Reeves' character, or you can hunt him, and then you get two different ride experiences.
No, you don't.
Depending on which path that you choose to get on the ride.
The lights are different or something like that. That's your big different experience.
One goes one way, one goes the other way, and it all covers John Wick franchise.
There it is.
You will walk through a scaled version of the Continental to get to the roller coaster, and that'll be about it.
These things, I know I hate being this guy, but like, these things to me feel like they're almost always a disappointment. If you can go in with low expectations,
I'm sure you'd have a good time, but there's only so much they can do with the ride.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like an intense, scary, like there's just not the space to do it.
Right. Doesn't Dubai sound kind of awesome? I'm not saying, I don't know that much about, they have problems, they got this, they got that, but they also have like indoor skiing places and vending machines that spit out gold bars.
Well, yeah, who doesn't have that now?
I don't know, but it seems to me I could go over there and get a job like waiting tables and do pretty well.
So they're saying that John Wick is a property they feel is perfect for this location-based entertainment area because the world is so rich and the characters are so intriguing that people will like what they're doing.
Whatever. AKA, will you guys come here and give us your money? And the answer is yes. They have gold bars and vending machines. I'm sure they will.
They'll open next year. The timing will, hopefully work out with all the COVID restrictions.
Yes.
A lot of stuff. Motion Gate Dubai is already reopened in reduced capacity, but they hope to have the rest of it open next year.
You're listening to the worst of the riot, Radio U.
And I told you that they are taking something away for Christmas. And people are like, no, they can't.
What are they taking away this time?
You can't take away Christmas stuff.
I know what they are. Now I know what you're going to talk about. And they are.
It's real.
They're saying they're going to postpone it, but that's just a lie.
What do you think it is?
Is it the Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes? Is that not it?
No, it's not it. I love that we both had something. I actually thought, I was like, she's being emotional about something she doesn't care about. Good for you, Nikki. Great acting. I appreciate your theatrics.
I really care about the little Christmas tree cakes.
You know what? Then I'll tell you what. Let's set mine aside and let's talk about yours.
Well, they did announce, and I think it was Augie who sent us the story yesterday.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he let us know that, the Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes, they say they're postponing. If you give me a second, I'll pull up the story.
Now, I will tell you, as someone that has recently become strangely attracted to zebra cakes.
That came out of nowhere.
The zebra cake and the Christmas tree are essentially the same. The only thing that's lacking there is the sprinkles.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's basically a Christmas tree cake.
So the Christmas tree cakes from Little Debbie are going to be delayed for this holiday season. It'll be about, it's not too bad, just a few weeks later than they would normally popping up.
AKA, they're going to show up at a seasonally appropriate time instead of showing up in August when you're wondering why there's all this Christmas stuff out.
Yeah, pretty much. They're going to start appearing during the first to second week of November. So if you're used to seeing them earlier, the Christmas tree cakes are coming out then.
That's like last night. I had to run into the store and grab something, and I'm looking around. I finally found the little pumpkin, the mellow cream pumpkins.
Yeah.
I've been looking for those forever.
Yeah, you should have been buying them during the summertime.
I know.
They're already gone by now.
Couldn't find them, but I found some last night. But I also saw, I'm like, hey, here's Reese's pumpkin cups or whatever. And then right next to it was a bag of Reese's Christmas colored whatever. And I was just
it goes hand in hand. They're ready for the Christmas stuff now.
What they ought to do is let's just call it Reese's fourth quarter shapes. And you just
you just put them out.
You just put a bag and there's a tree in there. There's a pumpkin in there. And it's a surprise shape.
You get something like a turkey for Thanksgiving.
And the reality of it is they do such a crappy job on the shapes anyway.
Yeah.
You just get a blob. It's like a weird, not quite round cup that you get inside there.
So I was trying to find a reason for why the Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes will be postponed by a few weeks.
What I saw yesterday was COVID, which you can just blame anything on that.
Yeah, they just don't say any reason why. Is it a factory thing? Is it are they running out of icing? What's the reason?
Nikki.
Yeah.
COVID.
That's all you need to say. There is
reason.
nothing else. I gotcha.
Who are you to question COVID?
So, Little Debbie Christmas tree things will be out in the first to second week of November.
So that's delayed.
Yeah.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Things they're taking away from us this Christmas. Now, Nikki, here's a hint.
Oh, is that the hint? Oh. Charlie Brown?
Yeah.
So what is it?
See, I told you guys. I
just don't care as much.
She wouldn't care.
So what is it, though?
So I actually took this on the positive side. I didn't really think about it, but Apple TV or Apple announced that coming to Apple TV Plus, they are adding the Peanuts holiday specials. So Charlie Brown, you'll get It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. You're going to get
It's the Great Turkey
Happy
Charlie
Thanksgiving
Brown.
Charlie Brown, and then
the Christmas one,
whatever the Christmas one's actually called, and I don't know what it is.
Well, that's not taking away then.
But they will, for the first time in 60 years, not be on broadcast television.
That's a classic, though. Even though I don't watch it, I know it always shows.
I get it.
What else do they got?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, why take it away? There's not there's anything to replace that. It's 30 minutes, guys. Well, it takes 30 minutes up.
The one thing I will say that's interesting about the Peanuts holiday special, like Charlie Brown Christmas, is that it's probably one of the last remaining vestiges of any kind of a Christmas special that when it talks about the true meaning of Christmas, it talks about the actual birth of Jesus. Now,
is this a statement?
Well,
because they're going to run the Rudolph and Frosty one.
Now, if you ask people what their true meaning of Christmas is, people are like family and friends. Let's talk about what Christmas means to you. And I mean, no offense, but Christmas is really just a celebration of the birth of Christ. We've stacked all kinds of things on top of it.
Sure.
But I mean, that's actually technically all it really is. It's a mass to celebrate the birth of Christ. That's it. And so now I don't think we'll have anything left
on
mainstream broadcast that actually talks about Jesus at Christmas. And I'm not here for some war on Christmas thing. I got excited because I was like, oh, dude, I'll have it on demand. I can watch it whenever I want.
Yeah.
And then somebody else is like, now I can't see it for free.
Well, do you still have your Apple TV for a year? Are you still in the year?
Yeah. I think till March next year.
So you got it then.
Yeah, I'm still going to watch it, but a lot of people are upset that it will no longer be free on broadcast. But again, I'm going to have to be real. I couldn't tell you the last time I sat there and watched it live on broadcast TV.
Oh, we haven't watched broadcast TV in a while. I mean, college football is coming back for this weekend, but outside of that, we don't watch it.
Yeah, I kind of don't. I mean, I do record local weather every night. Watch it.
You do.
I still do.
Yes, you still do.
Isn't it weird?
No, we all have our special things about us. It's what makes you you.
I love watching local weather forecasts.
And the Peanuts holiday specials.
I love Charlie Brown.
So if only Apple TV or some other streaming service would put local weather on it, man, you'd be so sad.
Worst of the riot. Radio U.
Now, we're going to talk politics for a moment, but I don't want you to mistake. I'm trying to, I really want to talk about the media and not so much about politics in general. So take a look at this. George Mason University, they recorded 400, they did what's the word I want?
Study?
Not a study, but I guess an inventory, not the word I wanted.
But close enough?
And here's what they found. 97% of jokes that were told on late night TV, so like late night talk shows, 97% of them were directed at President Trump.
During the month of September.
Right, during the month of September. So that's 455 jokes about Trump, 14 jokes about Biden. 455 to 14. Now, here's the thing. Again, I'm not here to be a Trump apologist or a Biden apologist, but you've got to realize that the bias that you're receiving from TV is real. Like, it is real.
Especially when it came to late night. With its history, it was always there to make fun of the entire thing.
Right.
So that you would go in and watch and be able to enjoy the humor and the break from the whole thing, not just one side of it or this side of it. But it seems to have changed.
I do feel like over the last 4 years, the media has become a little more, in general, activist, meaning that they're pushing hard to make sure that they think it's their responsibility to show you the world from their perspective.
So do you think that's the host's perspective or the writer's perspective?
It's probably both.
And they're allowed to now be more vocal about what they believe or what they perceive their viewers want to see?
I think it's both. I'm sure the host has input on like what the writers send them. So I don't know. But it's just worth noting that there is, at least I feel this way. I feel like when I watch TV, any kind of media that I interact with, it's pretty much a given that, it's basically anti-Trump and pro-Biden. So speaking out against, or saying anything about Biden suddenly makes you pro-Trump, which is ridiculous. And then saying something positive about Trump suddenly means that you're 100% behind him. You're carrying an AR-15 and, like all this stuff. And you're like, oh, my gosh, none of that's true, but that's the perception.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that the media is, whether intentionally or not, whether they're doing it on purpose, which I sometimes feel like they are, or they're just being themselves, and that's who they are, it is dominating a lot of the media that we see. And this is just an example.
A lot of times you think of media as in, you think and assume it's just the news then doing it, but you have to be aware that it can go into all forms of entertainment.
Yeah, it's all over the place. So again, am I defending the president? No. Am I defending Joe Biden? No. I'm telling you that you are receiving directed and constant, let's say, biased.
There you go.
Biased input that after a while, at first you notice it, after a while you don't, and then pretty soon you adopt it as your own. And that's one of the powerful things about media being repeated at you over and over again. Just something to think about.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Now, this is some reality TV that I could get behind, Nikki.
I feel like this would be here if it'd be like on a TLC show, like one of those dating ones or the fiancé ones. It'd be somewhere. It'd be a show-worthy thing.
It's called Tante Night Scoop. It's in Japan, and the idea is they take requests from viewers and they basically grant wishes, but we always think of things like grant wishes like finally get before the bad thing happens. No, this is like, they say it's just silly stuff.
Any wish like that.
Like just about anything. And so this girl, she's 13, Sierra Watanabe, and she wanted to go on a date with Godzilla.
Oh, it's not just a date. She says, my love is so great, I would like to marry Godzilla.
Well, they settled on a date.
That's the...
Okay, the
marriage thing was not doable, so the date it is.
The other thing you got to keep in mind is if you go back and talk to yourself at 13 about who you want to marry, that might not make it all the way to, say, 21. But she's a huge Godzilla fan, and they show her, she's got all these Godzilla figures on her table, and...
She likes the Godzilla from the Heisei era, or which one is that one?
The Heisei era, it would be like the one in the mid-90s.
Gotcha. And she likes that one the most because she loves the Godzilla's thick legs during that time.
He has a very specific look, and I agree with her. To me, that is in my mind, It's the iconic Godzilla look.
And that's the one she likes the most. So that was the Godzilla that the show set her up with so that a character in the Godzilla costume could take her on a date.
And so they have all this footage of her. She kisses him at the sunset. They go to a Godzilla museum together.
She packed a bento. Her grandfather went as the chaperone. They held hands.
Fantastic.
I feel we're only seeing just, snapshots of the date, so we're not actually watching the whole episode, but it gets a little intense towards the end. She proposes marriage, but that does not happen. So,
well, he's not much of a talker.
She's so excited.
She is.
She's truly very excited, and you don't want to crush that because she's 13. This is an important date for her.
Yeah, it is. And I couldn't tell you about what Japanese people are like necessarily just in day to day, but like there is in pop culture, there's a very excitable nature about like the way they present in pop culture is like that. So she is
super excited.
She's absolutely
super excited.
She's doing it. And, she's doing the whole thing.
The only worrisome part is the last one where you see her kissing the Godzilla thing.
She's just kissing him on the nose.
No, it's a real kiss for her. Okay, that one seems real. She's wearing a face mask too, but it's real.
She takes it off when she kisses him.
She's very excited about going on this date. So it's cute, but then like I said, here in the U.S., this would have been definitely a TLC shorter show.
I would watch this.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, church. Are you going to church? Does your mom know? No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Is your mom checking? Is that it?
Well, here's the thing, right? Is that with all these COVID restrictions, a lot of times it'll be like churches can get away with almost anything, unless they're in California, of course, and then they're the problem. I don't know. Like, again, talk about a politicized subject, right? But we've seen a lot of places where they're like, yeah, well, we're not having church. We're having a peaceful protest. So you can't come against the peaceful protest. Well, in Poland, the problem that they're having is that there are gyms that can't be open.
Yeah.
And so
no, do not tell me that's what they're doing. Are they making them into churches?
The Church of the Healthy Body.
That's so funny. That's the way around it then.
Okay, get a load of this. This is in Poland, in Krakow. Because fitness classes aren't allowed, starting today, we're offering religious gatherings for members of the Church of the Healthy Body.
Whoa, that's a place called the Atlantic Sports Club.
Hard to believe. In this world, everything is possible. And so they are using this rebranding as a way that they are going to stay open.
Yeah.
And that's their loophole
for
to
the
keep
government
doing their
stuff.
thing.
So they're also saying that they're opening a store that has exercise equipment that anyone is welcome to come over and use and test it out for free. Compared to going and
not going to a gym.
You're not going to a gym. You're going to test out some equipment. So the wording is very important on how they promote what they're doing.
It's tough, right? This whole thing is very hard because there is this tension between safety and also the need for the world to continue to function.
Sure.
Because if it shuts down long enough, it will not be able to restart.
So they're saying in Poland, the government has shut down most pools and gyms because they've had a recent surge in infections. Yes. And measures were introduced over the weekend that require restaurants to close early. Weddings are banned. Schools have switched to distance learning. And there's a high-risk red zone. So that included gyms.
Wow. Well,
but church services are still allowed. So that, because it's a very devout, they're saying it's a very devout Catholic country. Mm-hmm. So they're not doing that. They're not closing church services.
Well, apparently you can attend the Church of the Healthy Body.
So the gyms are now taking advantage of the country's reasoning for not closing church services. But they do say if you do go to church, you have to wear a mask and do the attendance limit.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, two of the things that I have found that are pretty important to my mental health are church attendance and gym attendance.
There's the two.
So
actually, it's not a bad thing if you could combine the two.
Yeah.
You got it together, you'd be fine.
Somebody's preaching and I'm lifting. Sure, I'm in.
So why not? That is a interesting approach around the ban that Polish gyms are having.
Yeah. So everybody's looking for a loophole. Everybody. It's just like...
It's not just our country.
No.
Everybody is.
It's worldwide, baby.
Are people really still listening to the Riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
So we're hitting the end of October. Doesn't feel like it.
But it is.
But it's legit happening, and I got to ask, have you considered a trick or tree?
What's a trick or tree?
Well, a trick or tree is something I just made up, though I think that somebody somewhere has to have already said that.
Are you talking about alternate ways to give out candy for trick or treat?
Nope. I'm talking about taking your Christmas tree and making it.
Oh, into Halloween?
Yeah, basically. Like October themed. You put the orange lights on it. You put these people have orange lights and they have ornaments and everything.
You
like
go
a
all out.
Hello Kitty. A disembodied eye, a pumpkin.
I know a few of you guys have done that just because why not? Why not put your tree up? And at this point, why not decorate it for whatever holiday you want to?
I just got to tell you, I'm not interested in the disassociating of the tree with Christmas.
You don't want it to go to another holiday?
I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in doing that. Some people, maybe you are. That's your choice, of course. But I don't think I want to do that. I want the tree to be a Christmas tree, not a tree that happens to be decorated like the winter holiday.
If you liked it enough, would it bother you as much if you put it up and then put it down and had still a little bit of break before Christmas time when you would put it up?
No, I'm too lazy for that.
I know, it seems like too much work.
Well, I mean, think about it.
Some people like decorating things, though.
And listen, you guys do you. I'm just telling you that from my end, this trick or treat thing is not for me. I want to do
what you want to do.
Well, okay. You know what? I'm headed to Oregon. What really is like mid-November, I guess. And so
you're spending Thanksgiving there.
Yeah, and so I'll probably maybe put it up before I leave. Maybe.
Your Christmas trees?
Yeah, but
that'll be early.
That'll be actually. Wait
that'll
a minute.
Be way early.
Wait, is this? Wait, is that the October calendar?
Because, I think, was it last year that Thanksgiving came the very last week?
3, 4.
Remember that? It was later than it was?
Late? Okay. Well, what I'm staring at here is the Thursday the 26th is Thanksgiving. Yeah, I can't put my tree up on the 14th. I'm sorry.
That seems a bit early than normally you would do. You'd probably just put it up when you get back.
I'll just put it up when I get back.
Just do it Thanksgiving that weekend, Black Friday into that weekend. You could do it then.
That's a great idea, Nikki. I like where
Otherwise, that's too soon. But yeah, people, I know quite a few that are just doing whatever they want. And why not have some lights up? Why not?
Hey.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, cups up, right? Why not?
Trick or tree, I guess.
So if you're interested, you can call it a trick or tree.
That's what I'm calling it.
It's a great
even though
name.
I'm not getting one.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Now, you are no doubt sitting on a ton of extra money that you're just looking for any way you possibly
invest.
can
Is
to
that
sell
it?
it.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you get some cool stuff?
I don't know about how big the pile is, but sure, okay.
Okay, so here's what I'm looking at, Nikki. There is a big auction coming up at Prop Store December 1st and 2nd. There are over 900 pieces of iconic film and TV memorabilia.
That you can buy?
At least that's what they say. They say it's about $5.6 million worth of stuff. We don't imagine you'll buy it all, but, maybe.
Maybe a little something. If you were into movies, I know a couple people who would love to have some memorabilia in their house.
Really?
Yeah.
By people, you mean Eric?
No, not him. That's not who I was thinking about.
He doesn't strike me as a memorabilia guy.
Nah.
He'd rather have a better speaker.
Pretty much. I think that's all where we are. We would like just to have what we have currently, but just nicer versions of it.
Sure.
But I don't get having a story behind having something doesn't mean much to me. Whereas if you want your item, like people who go do antiquing and stuff, they want there to be a story behind the piece. For me, it's just whatever.
Yeah, I'm with Nikki. My stuff can roll off an assembly line. I don't care.
Perfectly fine with it. But for others, they like it to have some history to it, and movie memorabilia does. Okay, so a couple of items up for bid. Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. They think it'll sell between $100,000 and $155,000. Mm-hmm. The Maverick bomber jacket, as worn by Tom Cruise in Top Gun, they say between $15,000 and $21,000. All right. Vivian Ward's shoes,
as worn by Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, between $13,000 to $19,000 is what they're calling for.
There's a lot of Bond stuff in there, too.
Yeah. The MI6 training suit from Skyfall.
In the auction is called the Bond on Bond Street event. So that's where some of that stuff will be privately sold.
Oh, okay.
So that's the extra special stuff.
So like if you get lucky enough to get in there.
Yeah, that's the real auction. You know, the other stuff where it's like, this was on a table in the back of one of the movies. That's the other stuff that we could afford.
Right. No, not even that.
We're not even invited to the expensive one. Those are private sales.
Still wrestling with the idea of getting a PlayStation 5, maybe.
I know, let alone like what else? I don't need a Bond car.
And I don't need a coat I can't fit into.
Yep, but some people do, and that's why they have that version of the auction over there. The first sale will be open, which will include some more everyday items.
Well, you know, whatever is...
Whatever works.
Your thing. Get out there and enjoy it. If you got an extra 100,000, well, probably 150 by the time it's over, you can have some props.
So, yeah, I'm just looking again, a lot of stuff from Bond seems to be the main thing for their special version of the sale. That'll go there. Some of the Bond items, especially, will be on display in galleries in London from November 6th through the 10th. And you can do online orders or auction placing from October 27th to November 13th.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to own it, but I might not mind going and looking at it.
Yeah, to see some of it, that could be cool.
Nikki, here we go. Keanu Reeves' complete costume from The Matrix Reloaded.
Is that in there?
Between $50,000 and $75,000 is what they think it'll sell for.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Yeah, to me, that's always a casino or like...
Planet Hollywood.
One of those restaurant things, or like somebody who has like a lot of money. I don't know, an athlete who wants it to put it in their house. That's all I could see buying this stuff.
Well, you know what? Those people are out there, and they've got money to spend.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported Radio U.
So, Nikki, do you want to talk Reese's or do you want to talk Mario Kart?
Let's talk Mario Kart.
So I'm looking at, actually, Nikki passed it to me, a review that posted of the Mario Kart Live home circuit. And I actually think it comes out, it came out late last week.
Yeah, it had more press about it when they first announced it, but I feel like some of that went away when it actually came time for it to come out last week.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it didn't come out until next week.
No, it's out.
Okay, so what's your take on this?
So Mario Kart Live home circuit, it took me a while when they first announced it to kind of like get an understanding about what this thing actually is. You take your Switch, you have a couple of cones and markers that you put in your house to create a Mario Kart path in your living room or whatever you've got going on room-wise in your place. And then you get a Mario Kart car that comes with it. You can add more, but you just have to pay for them. And then you use your Switch to control the Mario Kart car through your place. But it makes it look like it's got all the other Mario Kart stuff added from the games, but it's using your home location as the background.
It's called augmented reality.
Yeah.
So it's an augmented reality game. But as Nikki said, it's like, hey, he's racing under my coffee table.
Yeah, you go through your place, but while like a banana is shooting out from the side, that you'll see when you're actually on the screen. So you control it from your Switch, you watch it from your Switch, but it's going on in your house.
So going through it, you're supposed to stay within about 16 feet of your Switch as you're controlling the Mario. They don't seem to be overly excited about it, though they said it worked pretty well.
They said it worked pretty well. They said that the fatigue with it is just that it's good for a weekend. And then once you've played it, they compared it to, do you remember the Mario cardboard stuff that they came out with?
Yes, Nintendo. Was it just called cardboard?
Well, they've had a few things. Or is it the Labo stuff that
That's
they
it,
had?
Nintendo Labo. That's what it is.
So things that seem very interesting. It could be really cool for one time, but then you are in your house. It is just your place. There's only so many course locations you can set up.
Right.
And it's not going to end up being long-term as much fun as if you just played Mario Kart, on your Switch.
Right.
Not in your house. But they said it was fun for a try. It's just still a little expensive to invest in it if you're not going to play it long-term.
I mean, I get it. Like, I think it looks really cool. Like, the idea behind it seems very cool, but I can also see where you'd be like, yeah.
I liked this person's quote about it. If you're like me, someone whose creativity has been worn thin by like the realities of being an adult, the Kart would just get a little low, and the delivery, it'd be delivering plenty of fun just from chasing around your pets. And that's about it.
So can you control it just as a remote control car? Is that what they're saying?
I think so. It does seem, unless your pet is just going in the course that you set up.
Oh, okay.
So Mario Kart Live, if anybody else has tried it, it could be fun. We're just not sure how long the fun would last.
I would like to hear from somebody. So, like, if you're listening and you've played it, I'm not willing at this point to invest in it just to check it out.
No, it's still more expensive.
But if you have, you should totally text us 8772-RADIO or call us.
When I was looking at the review pictures, it's funny. You're like, in the beginning when they announced it, the pictures they sent out were so cool. Like, hey, this is going to be great. And then when you look at the home users version of it, you're like, yeah, it's just you in your house with this little car.
Oh.
And some cardboard.
Now, when you say it like that.
For everybody, it's more realistic when you get it home.
It's just you and your house with a little car.
With a car, that's it. But could be fun. Just maybe wait for it to be cheaper.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
You're content and you're fine and you're happy. Say it with me.